This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk to some craziness by the Fat Doctor, or Fat Doctor UK, from the TV show This Morning. And of course, we're trying the protein bars. We got some Jaffa cake and some chocolate honeycomb sea salt. 3, 2, 1. Dan, you're white, you're male, you're thin, you're so privileged.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
Me, Tom Hall. What's going on?
I know, mate. Tell me about it. I didn't even have to try to lose weight, me. It just happens because I'm privileged.
Yeah.
You know, calories don't count the same to me as they do to other people. They're different for me because I'm privileged. So we're all right. All fun and games, isn't it, eh? All fun and games.
We'll get to that, Tom. What do you think? Apparently, yeah, we didn't really know anything about it half an hour ago, but me and Dan just screen shared. Managed to turn the audio on, didn't we? Cracked that up. This morning, the Fat Doctor. Give her a follow on the Instagram, Fat Doctor UK. I might give her a follow because, you know, lols. Yeah, she's campaigning for the end in weight #weight stigma. She's also fat, but yeah, it's fun. Interesting. I think we'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit later in the show. That's what they call a hook in the industry. Yeah, she would have learned that being on This Morning earlier. So yeah. Interesting. Well, I think we should be on This Morning. Fuck it, that'd be good. We'll take on that one. Jesus Christ, but she didn't work out as well. She's
doing it. She is doing it just for the lols.
Yeah,
there's no other explanation.
So, there's another one. Dr. Joshua, obviously on the suggested for you. Diets don't work. Nope, great. Dr. Joshua Woolrick, MBBB's Rooks, surgical doctor. He's got long hair, so no.
Diets do work. Diets do work. People don't work.
People don't work. Correct. Oh my. Anyway, mate, how are things? How is lockdown 3 week 30? What 33? I think this is Bunkercast 33. Bunkercast 33. I'm going for that, something like that.
I've just got no idea where we are anymore. Seems all over the place, doesn't it? But yeah, it's all good. You know, it's just Groundhog Day and things like that. But we luckily, since the last podcast, we completed on our house, so we now have the house. So that was I feel really unsettled. I feel really weird. Like I'm like slowly moving out of this place and then slowly moving to that place, but like neither of them.
What a baller! Dan's got 2 houses.
I know, right? A second
online
home,
coaching.
Bath. Yeah, that's it. I'm so privileged. You see, 2 houses.
I mean, he's got 2 houses, but little do you know, behind the scenes, they're probably less than 100 meters away from each other.
Yeah, and they're literally the same floor plan as well. So they're the same. Like the worst way to have 2 houses would be that they were pretty much next to each other and also the same house. So yeah, sort of man, moving house is expensive. Like because we moved in and stupidly, I was like, we moved into this rented place and we moved in. It's like really nice, clean, like. I say new build, but it's like 3 years old. Same as
clean.
I'm buy.
Whoa! All right, Jesus. Get the high
well, no, I know. Well, there's the hook, right? But like, I was like, it doesn't need anything doing to it. It's really nice. And we thought, when we buy this one, it'll be the same. It'll be nice. They'll have looked after it. Nah, did they bollocks? So there was two brothers who just obviously weren't really very house proud and stuff. Stuff just happened that we wouldn't have seen because furniture was in the way or whatever. And just like when you get new houses, you have like settling cracks and all this sort of stuff. But then like even down to there's just marks over the wall, there's stains on the carpet and just stuff that you're just like, for fuck's sake, like, come on. And so, yeah, we had to basically deep clean the house first day we got it. So that was a fucking fair chunk of money. Deep clean the carpets. Then it was like, right, now we've got to get a paint and decorator into the whole house because every room there was something on the walls. It was like a bit faded or there was a picture up and they hadn't dusted around it or cleaned it, you know, stuff like that. It's just a bit minging. So that's just a bit annoying, to be honest.
Minging? I haven't heard that word in a long time. Gee.
Yeah, it's just a bit like we just felt, well, I'll tell you what, I'm really pleased we didn't move in straight away because it would have felt a bit grotty, I think. So at least we've got a chance to spruce it up, paint and decorators come around next week, do it all so that when we move in, it will feel like, right, it's new. It's kind of like fresh.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's new with us, which is exciting. But Tom, let's cut to the chase though. The real big news this week has been protein pantry. That's been the real big news this week. Let's be honest, right?
Has that been the news?
Don't know about you,
just...
but we have caused quite a stir. I'm not gonna, little old
literally
us.
in their tens. People have been going
in their tens, right? In their tens, tens of tens. I genuinely am quite shocked as to how much you take our opinion as gospel. It says more about you than us, I think. That we've probably suggested something and you've all just gone out and bought it straight away. and like without no hesitation. An expensive premium protein bar and you've all just gone in. But all I will say is at least now you will never, ever doubt us. Because
exactly right, we can fucking say anything we like on here now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah.
Follow Joel Seaman for all your biomechanics and running techniques. Yeah. Don't do that, please. You can never trust us again. But yeah, interesting, wasn't it? Like, yeah, we've had inundated with literally tens of messages.
That's a lot for me. Hey, that's a lot for me. It feels a lot. Inundated is right.
It was just funny, like 2 seconds. Like, obviously, you did your review on like the show, and then like you posted it whilst you were doing it. You were dual cameraing. I was like, I could see you were doing it as well. And obviously I record the IGTV my end and do everything that end, and then I put it up a little bit later in line with the podcast. And then within like 2 seconds of me completing the podcast, I was just like putting it up, putting it through. A couple of my trainers were like, just seen Dan's thing. What? I was like, you posted about it as well, right? I was like, where'd I get them? Like, which one did you have? And I was like, just that one. It's like, it says they're sold out. What are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. I didn't. I had a different one. I didn't make them. Go get them. They're good.
One of my clients messaged me to say, "This is secretly your second business, isn't it?" I wish. Yeah. I was like, I wish.
Protein Pantry. We'll do a quick guesstimation of what your multiplier is for your business, and then me and Dan are coming. Basically. Actually, my housemate is setting up a coffee shop in London. So, Protein Pantry, if you're listening, it could be a deal to be done.
Get on that shit. Get on it. Seriously.
There could be a deal to be done. Like, I'm not saying anything.
I've had clients say to me they think the macros are made up. They're not real. They can't.
I know, it's insane, isn't it?
Like, I have had a lot of it, and they're coming at me. I'm like, no, don't ask me. I don't know. Speak to Protein Pantry.
Right,
I'm not getting no commission on this. I should be, but I'm not.
Should be. Like, we will review every single one if we have to. All right, but the only bad side.
I've heard good things about the banoffee as well.
I mean, we're going to be doing it. We're going to be doing it at some point, aren't we? Let's be frank, because this section is here to stay. Because me and Dan have realised we get to try nice treats every week, and it's what we live for right now. I was literally like, oh yeah, I can't wait till Tuesday because I get to have a protein bar. Like, oh, I have to have out of this stash, out of the cool stash, right? Because this is just like, we're trying everything for you. We're going to work out what's shit and what's good. And then I'll probably buy lots of the good ones as well. Because that's the thing, right? You need variety. And this is perfect. Once or twice a week is just about right, isn't it? You can't have them every day. It's a bit boring.
No.
But without further ado, I think we have to do 2 of these, don't we? The reason why we're doing 2 today, guys, so protein bar review, is because Protein Pantry is so good that they go off pretty quickly. They got about a month. Yep. Month lifespan.
Yeah, a month from being made to 25th to 22nd.
I mean, this is just an interesting question, and perhaps Protein Pantry can come back at this. Are they going to be kept in the fridge?
Good question. Does it say on it now?
It doesn't say on it, no. But I would just
store in a cool, dry place away from direct heat and sunlight, suitable for freezing. Oh,
game changer.
Game changer. Right, I'm diving in with this one. Right.
All right.
This
so
one is chocolate.
No, just a minute. Chocolate. By the way, Dan managed to dive in earlier and couldn't give in to temptation. By the way, he dived into the Jaffa cake without consulting me. Insane. We had a deal, unwritten deal. Mine are perfectly packaged. And what we doing?
It's just the one.
Which one are we doing first?
This is chocolate honeycomb and
sea this
salt.
Is the one I was most exciting.
Dark chocolate with crunchy honeycomb, candy chunks, and coarse sea salt. Ooh, does sound good, doesn't it?
All right,
sounds
if you want to chew, and then I'll talk about the macros, get this going. So per bar, we got 262 cows, fats 9.6, carbohydrates 13.4, which most are fucking sugars, fiber 21 grams, and protein big 20 grams, my friend. Chocolate, honeycomb, sea salt. I've actually had some honeycomb bits this week because as a little treat. So I'm excited by this. Dan's still chewing, by the way. This will be a good part of the good audio show, guys. Obviously, it's IGTV, so you can probably see him on the IGTV.
Right.
So,
go on, Tom. You go now before I speak.
I'll go. Ooh, it seems chewy.
This one is more like a protein bar than the others have been. It's chewy. So it's like,
ooh,
as you can still hear, it's more like nougat. It feels like it's not like a horrible chewy. It's not like a protein bar chewy, but it's still more like a protein bar than the Caramazon one that we had. That was still number one for me. Caramazon is still number one. This one as a texture is more like a protein bar. It's like nougat-y. Think of like a Mars bar. It's got a thick bit of nougat in it. Let's see if I can show you the camera. Thick bit of nougat at the bottom. The honeycomb then comes in the middle at the top. So for those of you that think that they're like more, that they're less like a protein bars, this flavor is more of a protein bar texture. So if you don't like that about protein bars, I personally wouldn't recommend this one. That's not to say the flavor's not good. It's just that the texture is more that way.
Don't get me wrong, it's good. It's kind of chocolate moussey. I'd say it tastes like a chocolate mousse.
It's not as overwhelming as the Caramazon one was. It's not like that.
No.
That if you were having that, you would go, that's a protein bar. Put it that way.
And so coming from a person, I would prefer. I'd be always excited about that because I love honeycomb, love chocolate, love everything about that. I think that actually the Caramazon one is better. Yeah. And also for future, if anybody's bought that one, I took the massive bite because I thought I had to get to that honeycomb bit on the top. It's inside. Don't worry about that, guys. Just take it out.
The honeycomb's inside. Yeah, still good, but definitely more of a nougat for that one.
I think this is the thing. The Caramazon Crunch has set the bar, isn't it?
That was incredible. That one. Right,
so
this one now is This one's a Jaffa cake. Now, I've had the Jaffa cake. I've had the Jaffa cake. I'll show you the picture of the Jaffa cake. So the Jaffa cake is a bit. I've already had some of this yesterday. I think, or the day before. You can kind of see it's a bit of like a cakiness to it.
What a guy! Just like smashing through it. Like it's big, isn't it? It's heavy. This one. I feel like it's heavy. Well, we got the macros. You're eating macros. Jaffa cake 262. Was that the same as the other one? Pretty much. Rewind back. I'm not gonna double check. Fat 11 grams, carbs 13.6, fiber 15 grams, a little bit less. Protein, I think they've gone for the big 2-0. I think that's a recurring theme. 20 grams of something, isn't it? Nice. So yeah, Jaffa cake, love a bit of Jaffa cakes. So Dan's already had this.
Jaffa cake's a winner. Jaffa cake is a winner. So the cakiness of the bar, it's definitely cakey at the bottom. Ooh. It's not chewy, it's not nougat. Less chewy than nougat. For my taste, the orange is just a little bit weak. I think it could be a bit stronger, but I really like the orange taste, chocolate orangey taste. But that is better than the honeycomb one. Jaffa cake. If you like chocolate orange, you like Jaffa cakes, you will love that one. Not too chewy.
I really like that.
The cake comes through really nicely. Like that is very, 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 very nice.
Because it's cakey. I wasn't even though it's a Jaffa cake. I was expecting just to have the jacket flavor, like orange flavor.
How they made the cakiness?
I wasn't expecting the cake. There's actually cake in it. So if you look at the thing,
yeah,
woo, there's actually cake.
Proper cakey, isn't it?
It's proper.
And the chocolate's quite thick on the bottom.
Yeah, that's good. Enjoyed. Yeah,
very nice Jaffa cake.
I mean, ratings obviously. Caramel. He's gone for another bite.
Very good.
I've saved up my macros as well. I barely had anything today. So I can probably finish both of these two today.
Right, I'm just going to throw it out there. That chocolate honeycomb, I would give that away to Laura. I'd be like, oh yeah, here you go, babe. It's a protein bar. You can have.
We're trying protein bars every week.
The Jaffa cake one, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Like, we got to have one each. She was like, are we going to share so I can try that one? Oh, no, that's not how we play.
No, it's mine. That's mine, that one. So far, Caramazon 10 out of 10. Like you can't beat that one. Jaffa cake 11, Jaffa cake 9.75. Honeycomb and sea salt 8. 8.5. 8.5.
Yeah. We'll come up with a
I wouldn't get that one
definitive
again.
list at some point.
I wouldn't get but the only reason I wouldn't get the chocolate honeycomb one again is because I know the others are so much better.
But compared
Not that that's
to
bad.
bear in mind
It's
that
still
we had
better
the
than a protein bar.
battle bites and stuff before, it's like it's still a leaps ahead of that. So,
this is like Champions League versus like League 2 we're talking here. So yeah, the honeycomb got knocked out in the first round of the Champions League, but the battle bites is like League 2. They're like Stevenage. Don't worry about it. Like it's still a different league, but it's just we're up in Champions League now. So if one gets an 8 out of 10 here, it's not an 8 out of 10. It's still a 10 out of 10 for a protein bar. It's just not as good as the other ones that we had before.
Boom.
What ones have we got left, Tom? For next week, I think we've got.
Next week we have to do these. I mean, it's Protein Pantry month apparently.
Next week we've got hazelnut cream, which I've had a couple of clients buy and say it's very, very good. And then what do you want? Double chocolate chunk. See, now here's my prediction. I think the double chocolate chunk is going to be the same as the chocolate honeycomb in texture. I think it's going to be a block.
But it'll be chunky, won't it?
I'm not sure about the hazelnut cream.
I mean, hazelnut cream. What's that? Ferrero Rocher?
Yeah.
Crispy pieces. It's got crispy pieces in it, mate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's going to be like a Ferrero Rocher.
I think the ones with the crispy bits in are going to be the ones, aren't they?
No, those are the ones. You want the texture change, don't you? Like the cakes are different texture change. You want the crispy, the crunch, the crisp, that kind of stuff. If you chuck some Rice Krispies in there, boom, game changer. Absolutely love that. Well done. Protein Pantry on for a winner again. What is your business? Jesus, I'm tempted to put them in the fridge for a bit. To see whether, because I quite like when you get served like a brownie or stuff a little bit cold, or usually a little bit warm or a little bit cold is cool. I don't like it room temp, so I might put them in the fridge.
Just like chocolate, should be room temperature.
Definitely not like chocolate, but a little bit chilled.
Fridge or hot? Fridge or hot? Fridge or hot? Really?
Who's having? What? You just having melted chocolate? I'm getting you a whole bar of Cadbury's. I'm going to sit on it for half an hour.
You do melt chocolate on stuff. You do melt chocolate on stuff. That's what I'm saying. So chocolate should either be hot or fridge.
Then it sets again, and then you eat it. This guy, whatever. All right, it ends the protein section. Good.
I'm also. I just want it out on record.
So no ways to cut.
I just want it on record. I just want it on record that I still can't believe that they haven't reached out to us to say, just thank you. Just thank you will be enough. Just a thank you for for your influence.
We'll do it. We'll do it for these until we get through our batch. I think that's what it would be like, and then we'll be like, "Oh, give us a code."
Yeah, like they should let us review their new flavors. Really, like
correct, yeah.
based on the fact that they've just had 20 to 30 people put in orders. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Don't worry about it.
Especially during lockdown, people are just throwing money at you. Like,
we still can't work out when. I still can't work out when their stock gets replenished on the website because
correct, yeah.
Every time I go, it's out of stock. So I'm assuming it's either last thing at night, so they know what they're going to make the next day, or they do it first thing in the morning once they're going to make them. I don't know, but it's confusing people because every time then people message me going, "Oh, they're out of stock." I'm I don't make them.
Literally had it today from Mr. Luke. I mean, we got 100,000 followers on the PTC. Might get a few people who want to buy some. So
I wouldn't bother, mate. You're not going to get a thank you. So don't worry about it. I mean,
yeah, it'll be fun. Anyway,
Caramazon's out of stock. They're all out of stock.
I mean, that is our influence.
Don't worry about it.
Just that right there. Just from
the birthday cake one looks incredible.
Oh yeah, I did look at that actually.
And so does the banoffee pie one. Actually, to be fair, you can kind of see they've cut them in half, so you can see what's in them. The cherry bake one looks good as well. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm going to get... Oh, yeah, the hazelnut cream. Yes. Yeah, you see, now looking at all of these, I think that... So we've got the white... We've got the double chocolate chunk. It's got a big white chocolate chunk in the middle, but that's going to be the same as the chocolate honeycomb sea salt. It's going to be the same. It's like I said, it's going to be the same. Oh, my God. I want a birthday cake one now.
I mean, it'll come down. Jesus.
Oh, hang on. Waiting for a restock. Find out when and how we restock our shop. Click the button.
Really?
That was easy. Why has no one done that? Why have you not messaging me? Fucking hell. We restock on a near daily basis, Monday to Friday. However, not all items are necessarily in stock at the same time. Due to the way our subscription service runs,
Ooh, game changer.
Subscription orders will be fulfilled first, and any remaining items will be placed online. Where's this subscription? Subscription boxes. Oh,
So
here
basically, we need to say
5 bars a month, 10 bars a month, 30 bars a month. Oh my god,
30 bars a month. Jesus,
let's do it,
That's
mate. Sell them. Fuck it, I'll sell them, mate. 30 bars, £100 a go, £100 a month for 30 bars. What's
mate,
that? Quick maths, Tom. Come on. Quick maths, Tom.
£100 a go for 30 bars, £3,
Yeah.
basically.
So if we sold them for £4 each, mate, it's profit on that. So
I think what you should do is you buy them, and then you know how there was that kid at school who used to come in with like sweets and stuff and sell them on. Isabel could be that.
She could, mate.
She could.
Not a bad idea. Subscription members.
Got a ready-made market.
How do I become a subscription member?
This is good for an audio show, mate.
Due to circumstances related to the current national lockdown, our subscription service will temporarily be suspended. Oh, for fuck's sake, Boris! It's always his fault, isn't it? It's always his fault.
Then there should be more cake for everybody to get them.
Well, I'm just going to sit and refresh these because I'm not missing out on the next lot that come on. They better be birthday cake as well.
Right, if you're listening, Protein Pantry birthday cake, please. To either of us, slide in our DMs. We can arrange the
thank you. Slide in
the DMs so we can review it. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, we will wait a week and then we'll just buy it. But yeah, that's all right.
yeah. If not, we're still gonna buy it anyway. Don't worry about it. So it's
fine. All right, mate. End of protein talk.
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit and refresh in this. By the way, throughout this whole thing.
I guess we have to just say that obviously this wasn't from what we were talking about on the podcast last week. It's not indirectly, but not because of us. Joel Seaman and the Rugby Strength Coach had a debate. All that fucking stuff went off, apparently. Right. We seem to just get into it just like at the right time. And then within that little corner of the world on Instagram, Joel Seaman going, this is going viral. Oh, everybody's just, I'm breaking the internet. Fuck off, Joel. You're not breaking the internet. Not with running mechanics. Nobody's breaking the internet with running mechanics. And says you're Usain Bolt. Yeah, exactly. Like they had a little debate. Crazy. We both haven't listened to it, so I might listen to it tomorrow because it's probably more of interest to me than it is to Daniel. Daniel would rather do Fat Doctor and Guru. I mean, I'd watch that as well. But Captain Nutrition over there. Actually, we both liked Jeremy Kyle when it was on, so I mean that was a good show. We've watched it together, I think, in the mornings. So
definitely have. Bring it back. I miss that show.
Bring that back. I mean, it'd be even better post COVID, wouldn't it? How many problems are there going to be post that? Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I just wanted to briefly, before we go on to the Fat Doctor article, just wanted to talk briefly. Something quite astounding has happened in the sporting world this weekend. And Mr. Tom Brady won. I'm not a fan of his.
The NFL, come on.
But we're just we're just going to put it out there. It was like, obviously Dan is going to go that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, right? Mm-hmm. The greatest of all time in all sports. Yeah.
He's just definitely up there. American sports, definitely.
So I'm going to put Brady up there now. Like he's 43 years old. He's won the 7th time Super Bowl. There's only been 55 Super Bowls. He has been to the Super Bowl more than 10 times. And he's won 7 of them. He's been there for a 5th of the time. It's insane. Now he's done it for a second team at the age of 43, which is insane. Which is incredible. He could be... I'm not saying he's the most talented athlete. I'm not saying he is the best mover. He's not the best thrower. But his will to win is undeniably insane from my perspective.
Look, I think I agree with you from that point of view. I
think he's now officially the greatest all time in American football. Hands down, no question.
Yeah, look, I think there's that, but my biggest issue with, and the reason that I think I'm obviously biased because I'm not a huge fan of NFL and stuff like that, but
doesn't understand it, does he? Too confusing for Daniel.
No, there's that, but also the thing that frustrates me about this, right, is he's done well and he's won those titles, and I agree with you. But I think in a sport that is dominated by one person, one position, so much of which that position as well, and you can argue it all you want, the physical demands of that sport are minimal. They are, for a sport, the position he plays, the physical. No, listen, is minimal. It's minimal. It's minimal. Like you can't tell me that those 16 games he plays a year are more physically demanding than 82. 82 is regular. Is 16 a regular season for the NFL? Is that regular season?
Yeah.
How many would it be in playoffs after that?
5, 4, 5.
5. Right. 21 games, right? 21 games a season. Michael Jordan would play 82 in a regular season, and then at least what would it be? 60, 50, 12, at least 16 in a postseason. He's not having
300 kilo guys.
No, not having it. No, because they get
annihilating him.
Okay, they get hit, not as intensely, but again, if you were to add up the frequency of the amount of hits they do take,
but they don't.
It would probably.
They're not getting.
Mate,
like
you can't say that. You can tell you've not watched basketball.
How many concussions are in basketball compared to the NFL?
Right, hardly any, but they don't have head-on-head contact. But my point is that in his position, he doesn't actually. The physical demands. It's the reason he can play till he's 43 for one, because he doesn't actually have to run or do anything. The mental demands. All right, okay, he's got mental demands. Okay, that's great, and I get that. But to me, I think that just shows that sport is less physically demanding. Yes, it's mentally demanding. That's fine. But it's not as physically demanding as a sport like basketball, which I would argue is more mentally demanding. Because again, think about the finesse required to throw a basketball and throw an American football. Not hugely different. Only Michael Jordan does that many more times.
The ball is round. That one is like egg-shaped.
Oh, mate, I'm telling you now. I'm not disputing the fact it's impressive. My biggest thing with it is it's like, the reason he's playing till he's 43 and been successful is because he doesn't get fucking hit and nothing happens to him. He just stands
because he's that talented. Most other players do. That's how good he is. I'm not even a Brady lover. I'm defending him here, but I think it's incredible.
I think it is impressive. The one thing that is impressive, but again, I also think it goes to show how fucked up NFL is, and how I think this is why I think it's a point of sport, is that he can go from one team. He can go from one team that's won everything. He can move. Himself can move. One person can move, and then that team becomes really, really good. It just shows how much that one position dominates that whole thing. And I understand with Jordan,
the quarterback.
I understand that whole thing with Jordan, and it's like, but Jordan's had a good team.
What's his face? Who's the guy who goes to the Cavs? LeBron, yeah, but LeBron also had other players around him that were very, very good. Because that's not what happened with Brady. He ended up getting Antonio Brown. He ended up having the running back went over from Jacksonville, and he went and had Gronkowski. Gronkowski came out of retirement just to go play with Brady.
Yeah, because you knew he'd win. Easy.
Exactly. Because he was like, now they have the most touchdowns together in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs ever.
Well, I'm like I said, I'm not having a go. He's probably one of the best NFL players in the world. Go down as one of the best ever, right?
The best.
Fair enough. I just don't think they're comparable sports, to be honest. I think the NFL is just,
His bank account says differently.
Yeah, fair point. Very, very fair point. It just annoys me they only play 16 games a year. It just annoys me. It's like, you're not athletes. Come on, 16 games a year.
They get he gets, and then he takes team friendly salaries, still north of 25, nearly 30 million a year. But he's touted as like, he's taking one for the team. He's not taking as much salary cap, all this, but it's like, he's still getting a lot, isn't he? Like,
yeah,
but he doesn't get as much as Giselle. So there we go.
I find it really annoying that teams do that, because it happens in the NFL as well as the NBA, where good players could do, I'll play for you for a year on no money. It's like, but you could get 10 times that on another team. But
what they also do is they normally push those payments later. So they put them in 2, 3, 4 years time. So you're like, I'll take 25 million now, and then I'll have 15 million spread over the next 5 years in certain money. That counts against your cap in those years, but I won't be playing for you. So they push it into the future, was normally what happens, to get those players on salary friendly deals. Bit of contractual talk for you. Push it into the future. Brady's going to be retiring. He's still going to be earning quite a lot of money for doing fuck all. But yeah, interesting. I thought I'd bring it up because it is a sporting thing. Like it's insane. Hats off to the NFL as well. They had like 7,500 key workers there on free tickets, ballots, something like that, and then like only 12,000 actual fans. And then it looked full because they had like the cardboard cutouts of everybody in the stadium.
Between.
Yeah, it was like I was like, wow, it's full. And then they zoomed in. There was a picture of a Harry Kane, picture of AJ. Like AJ was there. It was like, all right, they're not real people. It was quite funny. Just for like $100 a pop, you could have your cardboard cut out there. I was like, who's doing that? A lot of people, apparently.
Well, yeah. People are stupid.
The price of the ticket. But yeah, it was good.
Crazy.
It was good. All right, let's get to our actual. I mean, wait, I don't know how long we've been going. Half hour. Main topic, I guess. We've done pantry. We've done debate. Go check that out. Go to the at Rugby Strength Coach, not the Joel Seedman, but if you want to follow Joel Seedman, get some lols. Make sure you bring your protractor. Make sure everything is 90 degrees. And then Tom Brady, done. All right. So the Fat Doctor Instagram handle, Fat Doctor UK. Out of all the people I follow, and he sometimes listens to the show, James, I can't remember his name, James Highbar. He's from Kent. He's a good lad. Why the hell are you following? Hopefully he's doing the same thing, me following for the lols. Just because I'm assuming that's not really happening. Yeah. Fat Doctor UK. What was she talking about, Daniel?
Oh, she was basically saying that being fat, children need fat heroes. That was what the main thing of it was.
That was the main. That was how they opened.
They need fat people to. They need fat people to look up to. Which again is an argument. I mean, I don't think we should be.
I mean, pause this podcast right now and go on This Morning, Fat Doctor. It's 10-minute long. Just extend it. Listen, watch that. They had some fitness, health, nutrition guru guy who was just shaking his head the whole time. And then I think even Holly and Phil were a bit opposed to this woman, especially both looking at them. They're both quite thin and healthy. And then this lady.
I just think that there's a couple of problems with it. Obviously, like I'm not going to go full in because it's not really worth it. But I think it's the problem. Firstly, the whole children need fat heroes thing, in my opinion, is like I don't think we should be normalizing obesity as something to aspire to. To be honest, that's just my honest opinion. It causes far more health problems than the not being obese does, for example. And like not only that, but I think the literature is quite clear on that. But also as well, obviously, with everything going on with COVID as well, like the stats are pretty clear that those people are going in with no underlying health conditions, in air quotes, people who are drastically overweight and puts them at higher risk of all that sort of stuff. And again, I don't know any off the top of my head, but there must be paper after paper after paper showing that being fat and being overweight and obese is not a healthy thing in terms of type 2 diabetes and just in terms of overall health and wellness, blood pressure, so many things. So that's why I don't think children should have fat heroes. No, I don't think they should. I likewise don't think they should be shamed for being fat, but I don't think we should glorify being fat. Much in the same way, to be honest, I don't think we should glorify like superheroes having six packs and being ripped. But the reality is superheroes are strong, and we usually associate that with being stronger and bigger. So I don't have any problem with that personally.
Well, I think one of the most popular superheroes and stuff that people have is Spider-Man. Because he's the most relatable, because he's just a kid, that kind of thing. He's a bit scrawny, that kind of thing, or blah, blah, blah. Apparently that's the most, I believe that's correct. And that's the most related and relatable liked superhero because of that aspect.
Yeah, and I think there's also that element to it as well with that, potentially with younger kids, is that they're also not aggressive. Could be that element to it, where they're not like, pounding stuff, beating things. It's just more of a funny, I suppose, way of doing it. Anyway, but yeah, this doctor was basically saying that basically weight loss isn't a good thing and that actually you should be fat and actually being fat is healthier. And she said, in fact, if you want to pretty much guarantee you're going to be heavier in 5 years from now, the best thing you can do is go on a diet. Like she's trying to use that data of those studies that talk about weight regain after diets, and like after 5 years,
correct.
After 5 years, you regain the weight again, and it's because the diet didn't fail, you lost the weight.
You lost the weight, and then you put it back.
You didn't learn.
You probably recycle the fact, but it's better than just gaining that weight net. like all the way. You've gone. It'd be like, all right, I'm going to spend some money, then get the money back, or anything. It's like, oh no, I'm just going to continue losing money. What?
Yeah, you'd have put the weight on
that's not a
anyway.
good thing.
You'd have put the weight on anyway because you're just lazy and don't do anything. But anyway, so just got into a debate basically, and she just basically said she doesn't use the word obesity because it's triggering and stuff like that. And it's like, it should be triggering. You should be triggered. If someone says you're obese, you should be triggered because it's a sign that you are not well.
Yeah,
it's like if I went in and I had cancer, I'd want the fucking doctor to tell me I had cancer. I'm not saying that they're the same thing. I'm just saying it's an illness. It's something that's wrong with you, right?
Well, I think it's something like it's the causality thing, like smoking. It's like, you've got emphysema. You probably need to stop smoking. It's like,
yeah,
you're going to get lung disease. It's exactly the same. It's a health thing. It's like it's exactly the thing. Like in terms of like, if you overeat, you're probably going to get obesity. If you probably smoke, you're probably going to get something bad.
I just think it's like, I just think it was just the fact she was basically saying, yeah, being fat's okay. She's a doctor. She's pushing the fact that you can be fat and you can be healthy. And she's trying to.
She's overweight.
Of course she is. And also she calls herself the fat doctor. So being fat is obviously to her not a shaming thing, right? Again, that's the whole thing again. But I just think it's one of those things where it's a problem when you have a society we live in where it's like, I think it comes from the whole body positivity and all that sort of stuff. And again, I'm not for shaming people for being overweight, but I'm also not for mollycoddling them and telling them that they're healthy. And if they're not, like, I think all that sort of stuff is important, but it's just frightening. Like, I think we're moving into a really dangerous area with a lot of this stuff now, where it's almost like you can't use the word fat anymore. It's like not allowed. And it's like, it's just like I said, becoming dangerous. And she talked about some bullshit stuff, to be honest, that I think is useless, about how being thin is a privilege. Basically, if you're I don't use the word thin, you know what I mean. I don't mean thin, but in this context is the easiest way to explain fat versus thin, right? So just roll with that. She was basically saying how being thin is a privilege, and basically if you're white and you're a male and your family are well-to-do, you're born to be thin. And I was like, I know a lot of white male blokes who are very successful in their business who are very overweight. Like, I know a lot of them. And yeah, basically was saying all that sort of stuff, and saying how, again, affluency when you're younger can be down to the obesity and all this sort of stuff, which again, we know from the research. There's research out to show that if you're from lower socioeconomic background, higher availability of junk food that's cheaper, easier to get. Again, there's elements of, I suppose, education and cooking and all that sort of stuff that, again, those sorts of socioeconomic factors do come into that a little bit in fresh food and vegetables and stuff. But it's a bit of a stretch, to be honest, I think, to then be like, oh, it's then it's okay to be fat and it's okay to be that way. It doesn't help these people because they need to be educated. Anyone who struggles with their weight needs to be educated. It's not about shaming people. It's not about telling them that they're useless or that they're, whatever. But we can't sit here, in my opinion, and say to people, if they're overweight, that they are healthy. I don't think it sets a good precedent because they're not. And she kept saying things like, oh, we know this from a study. We know this from a study. And maybe she's got the studies. Maybe she's read them. But it was almost a bit of a, well, yeah, no one's saying you should be too thin either. Like, let's not pretend here that we're like, oh yeah, let's be either obese or like stick thin. Like, no, there's a happy medium here. And again, we only just watched this video just before we came on because I couldn't be bothered to entertain myself with it. I knew I'd just get annoyed. I saw James Smith post about it, and I saw a few other things. And again, like, as always with these things, right? The answer is not black and white. It's not you're either going to need to be morbidly obese and eat whatever you want under the sun, or be on a really, really strict diet forever. It's not. Yeah. It's in the middle. Anyone listening to this will know that, and they'll know that the way that we would suggest to do things will be that way anyway. As someone who's had a six-pack and done photo shoots, that's not healthy either. You can't stay there all the time. It's fucking miserable. I'll be honest, right? For that short period of time. It's a fun thing to do, just like running a marathon. Just like, again, you wouldn't run marathons every day because it's just not going to be healthy for you in the long run. It's an achievement, something you do, something that you want to do. You get the achievement, and you come back to some sort of normal for you. If you want to do it again, you can do it again. It's not a problem.
But then we're saying that it's like you got there. It was an achievement. Then you came back to what is normal weight. There's not many people going the other way.
No.
It's like, how fat can I get, and then I lose weight.
Some people
do it just to see. You don't see it as achievement, take the pictures, then crack on, and then come back. if that was the case, then that might be.
But do you know what is the problem? The problem with it, the problem we've got is that there will be people who follow her, people who listen to her, who do want to hear that.
Oh, mate, there is
They
loads.
don't want to hear.
Like,
They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that they're unhealthy. Yeah, they don't want to hear that they're unhealthy. They don't want to hear that they need to lose weight because that's hard. That's effort. That doesn't make them feel good. It's not as nice as eating cake. And bit of a generalization, but it's one of those things where it's like there will be people who follow her. Much like there's people who follow some really other weird people who have weird things that they like doing and like saying, you know, like, again, little things like those people that have like their faces deformed and made look like lizards. Well, fair play. If that's your thing, mate, crack on. But they get people to follow them because they're extreme and people like extreme things. And this is just someone saying this sort of stuff and it's going to get a following. She's probably going to sell some shit off the back of it. She's going to get some exposure off the back of it. But the reality is most of us are going to be smart enough to know that's not the case. And personally, I don't think having fat superheroes or fat heroes or whatever it is a better way of doing things and educating people when they're younger about how to eat healthily. And I'm not saying that they're doing a good job, because they're not, because it's down to parents, it's down to home environment. I think kids know half the kids know stuff. Isabel knows when she comes and asks for sweets and I say no, I say, can I have apple instead? She doesn't eat the apple. She's not hungry. She wants sweets. She knows that sweets are not the best choice for her. She's 5. But that's because it's reinforced by me at home, right? It's not about, if she had free reign of them, she'd eat them all. Like the other day, Laura gave her a pack of like Smarties mini eggs. I was like, what are you giving her a pack for? She was like, oh, she said she wanted a couple. I was like, well, they're going to be gone. Of course they were. All of them gone. Of course they were. Because kids don't know. They don't have any sense like that. So as a parent, so that's where I think schools and stuff have a really weird way of doing it. It's like, you shouldn't be educating the kids. It should be the parents. They're the ones that need to educate. And again, like, talk about NHS, talk about governments. Governments are a fucking waste of space. They're useless. If this last year's taught us anything, it's governments are useless. I don't blame the NHS. They're just doing what they can. The government's fault is that they should be educating grown-ups, parents, this sort of stuff, but even they don't fucking know what they're doing, because Eat Out to Help Out and get 50% off McDonald's. They don't give a shit. So this is the problem, is like, I hate women like this who come on and go, the weight loss industry, the diet industry want you to fail. They want you to lose weight because then you're going to regain it. Not true. That's your opinion of your small exposure to it because you went to Slimming World. Not my fucking problem. You did that. But this is the problem you've got, is that governments then go, right, well, we need a big company to do this for us. So we'll get Slimming World involved. You just fuck everyone up. So yes, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place of what to do. But all we can do as individuals is do the best that we can, support those people who are fighting a good fight. Again, as much as whether you like James Smith or you don't, he's helping more people than he's hindering. Whether you believe it or not, again, it's up to you. But this woman is hindering far more people and helping far less people than James Smith is helping or hindering, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And she'll use it and go, oh yeah, they're trying to turn trying to turn against me.
There was a couple of people who, like, she screenshotted, and obviously they've been like, we would just get posted with. So her immediate reaction, based off something that a white male who's thin she'll just say, your opinion is not valid because you're privileged. Literally, she's posted that on the thing. And I'm like, I'm sorry. So we've got to get, so Laura can go on and see. So that'd be fine. Just get we get one of our overweight clients to go on who's female.
She's just one of them.
And then it'd be fine. And then they can be like, yeah, you're.
I saw one of the comments. I
listen to.
I saw one of the comments on one of the posts. I read one of the posts. One of the comments was from a woman, not this woman, but another of her followers. And they put, oh, what's he, just a PT? It's like, yeah, but this woman's a doctor and she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. But yet, you won't listen to a PT. And it was that whole thing of, oh, just a PT. And it's like, hang on a minute, you're shaming someone you're having a go people for shame people for being obese. And now you're shaming someone because of their job.
Yeah.
And it's this whole. And
also, in terms of weight loss, I'm pretty sure, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure, and I've spoken to people like doctors who've done this, I think a personal trainer, as bad as the qualification is, spends more time on nutrition and exercise than the doctor.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just those double standards for me that with a lot of these people that you see is like, she's sort of using that. Oh look, Jason's having a go at me now. Oh look, he's just a PT, just a jumped up PT, and it's like you're now just as bad as everyone that you're slagging off and you're saying is bad and they're not very nice to you. You're doing the same thing, just a different way. But because it's to a white guy or whatever, and because he's privileged, you feel like it's not a problem. I just feel like I just don't think you should give her any airtime. We were just giving her airtime, but
People talked about it. I saw Emma Story-Gordon, Amelia Thompson have gone at her, I think, in terms of some of the stuff. So Amelia's take will be quite interesting. Obviously,
it's
PhD,
just a dangerous. It's just a dangerous
body
narrative.
positivity stuff. So
it's just a dangerous narrative. It's a dangerous narrative to go down, because it tells people almost that they don't need to give a shit, and they're in the end they're the ones that are going to suffer from it, and they won't know that until it happens. That's the tragedy of it.
It's sad, isn't it?
You know.
Sad.
Who knows?
Like, obviously, the people who listen to this show probably going to be agreeing with us, otherwise they wouldn't have downloaded. So yeah, but maybe there's somebody who.
I mean, if they don't agree with us, though, I'll have a discussion about it. I'm gladly. I'm always happy to have other views that put across, and I'm happy to listen to them, because I don't want to just sit in an echo chamber forever.
Yeah.
But I can see the other side of it. But again, that's where I think, well, like we've just said, we're not about shaming people or anything like that. Like, it's more about helping them the right way. I don't think telling them to carry on being overweight and carry on doing what they're doing is going to help in any way, shape, or form. But I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be, and we'll just see, I suppose, won't we?
We'll see how it goes. So might pop back on Instagram now, follow it every now and again to get some lols.
Content,
yeah. I think that's basically what my Instagram is now. I mean, I'm not only following people for content.
That's what I do. Like, I really don't I really don't follow many people now. I've unfollowed a lot of people, not because I don't like following people, but just because I just use it for content now.
It's weird, isn't it? You're like, I'm looking for people who either I resonate with, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, or something that I really disagree with, therefore I can get angry content about. So yeah, weird one. Yeah. Nice. That's what Instagram has become for me instead. So yeah, mate. Wonderful. What an interesting week that's happened. Anyway. Lots of people did.
Well, I just can't wait until we're allowed to actually go back out in the world, and more shit's going to happen. Do you know? More fun.
It's going to go absolutely crazy. I mean, is it 1,700 quid now if you come back from one of those crazy countries? Unfortunately, I'm sure we've got some fit pros in Dubai. Bad times. When you go back, you got to spend £1,750 to stay in the Best Western for 10 days.
I can't believe that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. It could be Australia though. Like, at least you get to go to Australia afterwards. That's cool. Here, it's the fucking beast in the east too.
Yeah,
it's terrible. So at least in Australia, it's worth a $3,000 because I'm going to be in Australia after this. But here, you're like, it's a bit cold as well, and everything's shut. So can't even have a shrimp. Crazy. Yeah, you got to do that afterwards. So that's fun. Hopefully Chloe will get back. Woo. But yeah, it was right. She'll just go to the States and then come back via that way. So easy. They're not going to put that on the list. So yeah, too close now. Too close to being all vaccinated. But vaccine rollout's still going well, I believe. My mother is about to have hers. So that's my auntie and uncle have had theirs. So Essex and Newcastle, that is. I think all my auntie and some of my cousins actually had hers as well. But she's a nurse. So she's allowed, even though she's about 40. But yeah, mate, we'll be last. Be fine.
We're white and privileged, mate.
White and privileged, Finn. No, because the science dictates that the fat people are dying. Yeah. We won't want to say that though. Yeah, mate, but interesting. It'd be fun. What are we going to be? Fully vaccinated by what's the bets? Apart from the 5 million anti-vaxxers. Don't care. They don't count. You can all go to Birmingham. We'll give you Birmingham. You think September? Yeah. Birmingham.
I still think it's going to be a lot. I think they're going to slack off with it.
Well, yeah, I think Hancock's already said that. No, it wasn't Hancock. It was what's his face. Next slide, please. That guy.
Next slide, please.
He says next slide every single time, and he has the air of disappointment and realism, like the person's gonna fuck up and not get the next slide. I always think. Yeah. I like Chief Whitty because he's like, these people, because he's not bound to the Conservatives. He's just a professor of all this science crap.
Yeah,
like he's just there.
I bet he wishes he never had to deal with them this much.
He's like, I'm just a scientist who is really good at this stuff and virology, and I have to talk to these morons every day. Next slide. Can you handle that? Can you press that clicker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hit that button or what?
So he actually said that it's the vaccine rate will slow down, like a big burst at the start, and then it'll trickle down a bit. Because people.
My biggest worry with it is that everyone that needs to be vaccinated has been. Why the fuck are we not allowed back out yet? It just drives me insane.
There'll be the rule of 6 first. Is it next week or the week after we get to know the plan?
22nd.
Exit strategy. Because the other exit strategy happened well. Oh, no, we went straight in another fucking door, didn't we? So, yeah.
They literally can't do it again, though. Like, they can't do it again. They can't. Like, I just don't think they can do it again. Like, no one's going to stand for that, surely. Like, I don't know, mate. Oh, we eagerly await. Anyway, less COVID talk. We've been pretty good at that the last couple of weeks because there's no other news to talk about. Any other biz? No, not for me. No, Collective's still going. I believe Emma Story-Gordon and Dr. Amelia Thompson talking tomorrow. So if you haven't signed up for the Collective, then you obviously hate charity. You haven't donated your £5 a month for some ridiculous content. Industry leading, we'd say, at that price. Insane. So go do that if you haven't already. What else? Nothing else really happening. Just doing a lot of work, mate. Dictating. I dictate most of my lectures. Sometimes they get it wrong. I find it funny. Annoying and funny. If I get it wrong like 2 or 3 times in a row, then there's a word I'm not going to be used at all during my lectures. Essentially, because my computer doesn't pick up. Quite impressed by the dictation thing, though. It's quite good on Word. My mate was like, "What too bad, Siri?" I was like, "Siri is terrible. Have you ever spoken to Siri? Siri does not get anything you do." The word dictation, if you want it, give it a go. If you like speaking instead of typing, like me, decent. Also, considering I'm lecturing these things, so if I'm speaking it, I'm more likely to be like, it's like I'm speaking. So that's the thing. Crazy. Instead of typing, end up saying, "Thus thou art thou," and speaking like Shakespeare language. So, definitely not happening, mate. All right, you're yawning, so I'm gonna wrap up there. Tired, mate. Now.
Tired. It's Tuesday night. Yeah. Good luck. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will catch you next week.
See you later.